Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. My name is Jason. We're in the kitchen today. We just bought 13 pounds of blueberries, so we need to make something blueberry ice cream. We got a lot of eggs for a good base. Angela Kay is over here at the stove, and so she's going to show you how to make a delicious blueberry cobbler ice cream. All right.
So the first thing we need to do is make a blueberry sauce that we're going to swirl in. So you need about 2 cups of blueberries, and it depends on how sweet your blueberries are, how much sugar you'll have to add. These are extremely sweet, and as they get hot, they get sweeter. So I only added a scant 1/4 of a cup of sugar, which is not much at all, for 2 cups. Now, you're going to turn your heat on medium heat. It's not going to take this long, and you're not going to need to thicken it with any cornstarch or anything like that, because blueberries have a ton of pectin. So they're going to thicken themselves. So you want to cook this until your blueberries start to pop. You're going to hear some popping because they will start to burst open, and you will hear some popping and some sizzling as they do that. And you will want to stir it pretty often because you don't want them to burn and scorch, because they will, because they're so juicy and so full of sugar. Now you want to cook those just until everything starts to get like a jam consistency and all your berries are popped. And I'll show you what it looks like when we're there. Now your blueberries have all busted up and they're all juicy now. You can strain this and just make almost like a syrup. I want the blueberry pieces in there.
Yep.
I think it'll be better that way. And as you can see, it's starting to thicken up. See, on the spoon, it's getting nice and thick. It's barely dripping.
Too much steam, you can barely see it.
See, it's barely dripping off the spoon. It's nice and thick on the spoon. And it will thicken up more in the refrigerator. So now you want to go ahead and take it off the heat, dump it into a bowl, cover it with some plastic wrap, and put it in the refrigerator while you work with your ice cream base. Now we're going to make our ice cream base. And this is going to be, I want this to be like you're eating blueberry cobbler with ice cream. But this ice cream is going to have a little bit of a twist. You'll see that in just a minute. Now in this pot, we have 6 egg yolks. I've told you this over and over. Do not throw those whites away. You can freeze them and use them for an angel food cake later. We also have 3/4 of a cup of sugar and just a pinch of salt. Now, you will notice that I don't temper in my egg yolks. It's an unnecessary step. As long as you keep your heat level and as long as you keep it moving, that is a very unnecessary step. So I just go ahead and start with my egg yolks and sugar from the beginning. And you want to whisk that until your sugar has got incorporated nicely with your egg yolks. And I wish that the camera showed just how beautiful those yolks are, because it's orange. Now in this cup we have 2½ cups of heavy cream and 1 cup of milk. I'm using whole milk. You can use whatever you choose to use, but I will tell you, your ice cream base will be much richer if your milk is whole milk. Now you want to mix that in until you notice the milk and the cream starting to become a little yellow, because then you know that your egg yolk mixture is mixing in.
Now you don't have your heat on the stove,
No,
right?
don't have your heat on yet.
Okay.
Until you get this mixed in, because what will happen if you turn your heat on now and you've still got egg yolks and sugar in the bottom, they will start to curdle. Yep. No matter how fast you move it around, they will start to curdle.
So doing all this mixing with no heat?
Yes. Until you start to see it changing colors like it is now, and then you will know that your yolks are pretty much off the bottom. And also you will be able to feel it. You can use a regular whisk or one of these half-moon whisks. I like the half-moon whisk with things like this because it gets in the corners better. When you have a pot like this, it gets in the corners really well and gets everything out of there. And see, now you're at the perfect color. Now you're at the perfect color for that, and you know that it's okay. So now you can turn on your heat. turn it on. This is a heavy bottom stainless steel pot. If you have heavy bottom, you can turn your heat a little higher.
Which the heavy bottom, let's be clear, that's a tri-ply bottom stainless steel pot.
Yes.
So it's a thick stainless steel that conducts heat extraordinarily well.
If it's a thin bottom pot, and you can usually tell by the weight of the pot when you pick it up, if it feels heavy, it's usually fine. If it feels very lightweight, it's not. You're going to have a little trouble. Keep your heat on very low. With a heavy bottom pot, it distributes heat much better, so you can keep it on about medium, and it will go much quicker this way. Now you want to keep it moving, but right now you don't have to keep it moving as much because you're barely heating right now. So you want to add 2 teaspoons, roughly measured in my case, of vanilla.
It's closer to 3, that's okay.
It's closer to 3, that's okay. You want vanilla. You want vanilla flavor.
Yeah, you do.
Now for the little secret.
Yep.
This is going to go really great with the blueberries. And it's going to add a little something something.
Nice.
This is about half a teaspoon of ground cardamom. Now I've smashed it in my hand so that there won't be any lumps, because you don't want any lumps in there. So I've took my finger and smashed it out in my hand. Now you want to put it in there. Now you want to mix all that in. You want to mix really rapidly at this point to get that cardamom in. Now you can leave the cardamom out. It's not going to taste the same. It's just going to be like vanilla ice cream.
And that's okay, that's what you want, that's fine.
Yes, but the cardamom is going to add
It's going to brighten that blueberry flavor up a lot. It's going to be
because
nice.
For those of you who've never tasted cardamom, it has earthy, citrusy notes. There's some beautiful, like citrusy notes, not like lemon citrusy, more like orange citrusy.
It's just different. It's good.
It adds such a great flavor to sweet potatoes, to blueberries, apples. To blackberries, apples.
Yeah.
Because if you guys have watched my apple butter video, I put cardamom in my apple butter.
And it's amazing.
And you probably have seen anything that I do with sweet potatoes. I put cardamom in it.
Yep.
Now you want to keep this moving and keep it going really good until it starts to thicken. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's there. So I've switched now to a silicone spatula so that I can scrape the sides and bottom really well. And as you can see, it's thickened significantly.
Just shy of 15 minutes.
But you do not want to take it anything past this because it will start to get a pudding consistency. Yep. You don't want pudding.
Nope.
But see, where it's on the spoon, you make a line and it doesn't run back together.
Yep.
But don't let it go any farther than that it coats the spoon and doesn't drip off. Then you've got pudding. Now I'm going to put this in a glass measuring cup and I'll show you what we do next. Now you want to cover this, but there is a specific way you want to cover it. Because if you don't cover it this way, it's going to get condensation. Then it's going to drip into your base, and then you're going to get ice crystals frozen in your ice cream, which you do not want. So you want to do it like you're doing pies. You want to put it straight down on the surface.
Okay, make sure there's contact there.
Make sure there's contact. That way it's not creating condensation. And if you have the time and don't want the ice cream right now, you can put this in the refrigerator for several hours, for about 8 hours, until it gets nice and cold. I'm not taking that time. You guys know I'm impatient when it comes to ice cream. So this is going in the freezer, and it'll take about an hour to 2 hours.
To get it fully cold?
To get it cold.
Cold but not frozen, obviously.
Cold but not frozen.
Gotcha.
Now this is the ice cream maker that I use. It's the type with the frozen core. I'll leave a link in the description below to the one that I use. So you only have to put this in the base. You don't need salt. You don't need ice. For this, you have to turn it on before you pour the base in. See, our base is now cold and it's thickened up a lot. Mm-hmm. It's gotten nice and thick. So now we're going to turn on our machine and pour it in. And see, it's not loud at all. You want to slowly pour it in. And And now you just let it go till it's thick, which in this machine doesn't take real long. Okay, our ice cream is now out of the freezer. Out of the ice cream freezer, that is. It's nice and thick and set up and tastes wonderful. Now, for our cobbler part, what we're gonna do, because you could do pie crust that is baked and crumbled in there, but that will get soggy. This won't. While your ice cream is making, go ahead and crumble up, just by hand or with a knife, about 1.5 cups of shortbread cookies. You can use any you want. I'm using Walker's. And just dump those shortbread cookie crumbs in there. You don't want to crumble them up really hard, just pieces, because you want that little crunch in there. You don't want them to break down to nothing, and that's what they will do if you leave them if you make them too much dust, they'll just break down to nothing and they won't be crunchy. You want that crunchiness. So see, now you just mix them in when you have it in your container. In your container that you're going to store it in, just go ahead and mix it in. And now our blueberry sauce is also chilled and nice and thick. Look at this. Isn't that glorious? Now we're just going to swirl it in. Now see, we're just going to glop it on. Just glop it here and there. And then we'll take a knife and swirl it in. You just want to drop it here and there. And it will take pretty much all of it. If you can leave out some if you don't want that much blueberry. But why wouldn't you want that much blueberry? It's blueberry cobbler ice cream. Now we're just going to take a regular butter knife and we're just going to start swirling it in. See? Just start swirling it in. So that you start seeing ice cream on top and start seeing blueberry sauce go down in. And then everything is going to be mixed together, but you don't want it to become blueberry ice cream. You want it to be swirled in. So just swirl it in, don't mix it in. Hey Jason.
Hello.
There we go. Now, isn't that pretty?
That's awesome.
I can't wait for us to taste it.
Angela Kay, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Not as beautiful as she is.
I think it's more beautiful.
Nope.
Now, you want to take a piece of parchment paper, or you can use plastic wrap, either which one, and you want to put it right down on top of your ice cream. It will keep it from forming those crystals and getting freezer burnt so easily. Now you want to put on a lid. I'm using an airtight container. It keeps it from getting freezer burnt so quickly as well. And now we're going to put it in the freezer and let it harden up for a few hours.
Look at that beautiful bowl of ice cream right there. Nice. Certainly excited to try that. Look at that. It's beautiful. And it's amazing. Obviously it is, but it's so good. Perfect. The cardamom isn't very strong, but it leaves a nice balance of flavor behind that blueberry sauce. It's so good. So perfect. Angela Kay knows exactly what she's doing when she's making ice creams, let me tell you. So amazing. And you really got to try it. It's certainly a high-end ice cream. You'd be paying a lot for that in an ice cream shop. I'll tell you something right now, it's amazing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. My name is Jason. That's Angela Kay. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love you all, and God bless you, and goodbye.